Hey friends, welcome back to another Kish Talks Credit, where this is a no judgment zone where we talk about building strong credit, building better, smarter money habits, and creating real financial freedom. In today's uncertain economy, most of us are really thinking about our day-to-day expenses, gas, groceries, mortgage or rent, and maybe the occasional fun thing like going out to dinner with our family or going bowling or something like that. And maybe we're not really thinking ahead to something like retirement. Well, the question we're going to talk about today is it possible to retire early? So there's this movement called FIRE, F-I-R-E, Financially Independent, Retire Early. And as I was doing my research on this, one story stood out to me. And it was about this African-American single mother living in the Midwest in Ohio who actually did this. And the really surprising thing is this woman did this with a regular 9-to-5 job. And it wasn't some six-figure high-tech job that she worked to achieve this. And the reason I want to talk about this today is early retirement isn't just about money. It's about options, peace, and taking control over your life. Let's break it down. So what exactly is this FIRE? Well, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The idea is simple, but powerful. You aggressively save, invest during your working years, so your investments eventually generate enough income to cover your living expenses. Instead of working until you're 65, 70, 75, I've even heard of instances where people in this economy are working into their 80s. But instead of doing that, retire like this woman did in your late 40s. You need to really research this FIRE movement a little bit more. Jackie Koski lives in southwestern Ohio. She worked for LexisNexis for about 20 years, earning about $80,000 a year. And of course, she wasn't a celebrity, and this was not a celebrity salary. It was a decent salary, but by no means a celebrity salary, no high-techy job salary. And she was a single Black mother, and she was just navigating life like many of us. And her finances were, just the normal mortgage, groceries, gasoline, and the occasional family night out. So by 46, she reached a net worth of about $1 million. And by 49, she decided to retire with a net worth of about $1.3 million invested. So what makes her story powerful is that she represents people who are traditionally told that retirement, and especially early retirement, just isn't possible for them. She pushed against the wealth gap narrative because she knew no one was coming to her rescue financially, like many of us. So how does somebody with a normal 9-to-5 actually even start the process of getting on this path to FIRE? Let's make it practical and break it down a little bit more. So let's start with the basics. Number 1, know your real spending number. Now, we've talked about this in the past. FIRE starts with clarity. You cannot retire early if you don't know what your actual life costs. This means tracking your spending, cutting expenses that don't add value, keeping things that truly matter. It's not about deprivation and about absolutely never doing anything fun or having any small luxury in life. It's really about intention. Number 2, Save and invest aggressively. Many people who follow this FIRE method save 40 to 60% of their income. Now that may sound kind of out of the range for many of us, but take a look at some other videos that I've done in the past. There are resources that are available to help you invest easily, especially if you have a 9 to 5. If you have an employer that matches in your 401k and you're not participating in that, that's a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. So it may sound extreme, but the lesson isn't perfection. The lesson is direction. Even moving from maybe saving 5% of your salary up to 15%, that can make a drastic change in your future. Consistency beats intensity. Number 3, make investing non-negotiable. Early retirement isn't based on your savings account. And we talked about this in another video that I will link. But it is built through retirement accounts. Again, that 401k match that many of your employers do offer. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. It's built through index funds. I'll link a video here to beginning investments into index funds, which is fairly easy, and it's long-term investing. We can't expect to throw a couple $100 into some fund and expect to double our money within a few months. Compound growth is what turns time into wealth. And number 4, don't just cut your expenses, but increase your income. This is where a lot of people miss the mark. They may cut out things like those $7 Starbucks drinks 3 or 4 times a week, and maybe going out to lunch with their coworkers instead of bringing their lunch. But this example of the woman Jackie, she not only cut her expenses, but she increased her income with a side business. And with so many things that we can do right from our own home computer, having a side business to increase your income by even just a couple $100 a month, it makes a real difference. Even if you're good at things like candle making, or your flower arrangements are awesome and you get compliments all the time, or maybe you make fabulous pies and cakes. These are some things that you could do to bring in a couple $100 extra a month. Brainstorm some of these ideas and things that you're really good at that you can monetize. And these things can absolutely accelerate your journey towards FIRE. So in closing, is FIRE realistically for everyone? Here's my honest take on that. FIRE is not about copying someone who had this inspiring story covered on the local news. It's really about mindset. And again, it's something that we talk about all the time on this channel. It's about adopting this mindset where we spend intentionally, where we think before we spend. So maybe you can't retire at 49. Maybe you're already 49 or 50 or 60, but you still have options. You can do things like invest more. You can do things like start a side hustle business, and you could change your mindset about your money. Stories like Jackie reminds us that financial freedom isn't reserved for the few, but it is built step by step and is available to any of us. I hope this video helped you think differently about your financial future? And if it did, make sure you like, subscribe, and maybe even share it with someone who needs encouragement along their financial journey. I'll see you next time.